You sure you don't want to drink? You seem like you need to...
Take a chill pill?
Let's do some breathing exercises. It's not a breathing exercise.
What's it called? Lamaze? No, what's it called?
Yeah.
Lamaze.
Alright. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel.
Sorry.
Welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a Q&A with my guest star, my husband Jordan. Your face every time.
Same thing every time.
We are about to cook lunch. I asked you guys if you would rather see a vlog from us or a Q&A with him, and you guys said a Q&A with him, so that's what we are here to do. I have questions from you all on Instagram, so thank you so much for submitting those. They asked some juicy questions. So we're gonna be talking marriage, we're gonna be talking having 2 kids, we're gonna be talking sex life and keeping the spark alive, work, and buying a home. And
it's a hard-hitting interview.
There are a lot of other things too. It'll be more exciting than that, I promise. But yeah, we're gonna make some lunch. We are starving, so it's good timing. First, before we jump into the Q&A, we have to give a shout out to HelloFresh. They are sponsoring today's video, so thank you to them for working with us on this.
They're the reason we get to eat right now.
They are the reason we get to eat. Jordan has become a very big fan of HelloFresh, especially during these times. We love them because they're super easy. As you can see, they send you the meals in these little prepackaged bags, all the ingredients you need, everything, including step-by-step directions. So for people like us who are not natural cooks, it's really ideal. We've been trying to, well, obviously during this pandemic, we've been cooking at home much more, and HelloFresh helps keep it easy to do so, because prior to all of this happening, we were very much like a takeout type of family, and so we really like things like this because it keeps us healthy, it's super easy, convenient, we have everything we need right here. We're keeping Arlo in the sling because this is like the only way he can be happy.
And I feel like, yeah, that works.
Side note.
But I was gonna say also, I think that these are like the tastiest meals.
These are tasty.
Like they're always good. We have not had a bad one yet, so. If
I'm not making something like this, I'm like a take all the ingredients and put it in a random bowl type of person, so.
Kudos to you. I'm a peanut butter and jelly guy, so this is the only way I eat good food.
So these help push us outside our comfort zone. So we got a box that feeds a family of 4 because we have we are a family of 4, which is crazy. That is crazy. But we also have a toddler who eats a lot, so we usually get portions enough to feed both of us and him. He's passed out sleeping behind the camera right now, so we're gonna hope that we don't wake him up doing this. So in this box we got 3 different meals. We actually already made the quesadillas, so we only have 2 bags here. But today we're going to be making these crunchy chickpea shawarma pita pockets, which look awesome, and the prep time is only 10 minutes. And there's like hardly anything we have to do. So if you guys are interested in trying HelloFresh, you can use my code. I'll put it right here, as well as the link in the description box. It will save you what?
$60 and free shipping on the first box.
Yep, I told him, I was like, you gotta help me. It will save you $60 off your first box, plus free shipping. Use my code in the link in the description box. So do you wanna put this one, this is actually the bag we're using. You wanna put this one back in the fridge? Yep. And we will make that later. This is super easy. All we need are knives and a cutting board.
Cool. Is a normal knife okay? Or you want like a big knife?
I don't know. Normal's okay. This is why we are not cooking type of people.
Our terminology was normal or big knife.
So while we're getting these all set up, first question. We got a lot of questions about how did we meet? How did we meet? What's our story? Do you really have to think about it?
Well, are we talking about when I was babysitting you?
Shut up. He did not babysit. That sounds so creepy.
No. We met through my brother.
So I went to high school with Jordan's brother. His brother John, who you guys have probably seen on this channel before. His wife Katora is my best friend, and we're like godparents for each other's kids. You guys know all about her. She actually did one of these videos with me, but his brother John is in the same, or was in the same grade as me. I always say he is in the same grade as if we're still in high school, but he was in the same grade as me. We went to high school together, and so we just met at a party.
Yeah. I yelled at her, and it's been love ever since.
I was being very loud. I feel like we've told this story on this channel before, but I was being very loud, And I was like, who the hell are you? And Jordan was like, this is my house.
I guess one thing to add context, because people probably don't know, like we live in California, but we met as kids, and not kids, but young adults in Ohio, and got married in Ohio, and then moved out here.
That's true.
We've been together for a long, long time.
We started dating when I was 17 and Jordan, right? And Jordan was 20.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound that great. But
yeah.
You're like, don't broadcast that.
Yes.
Got married, and so we did get questions about that. I'm gonna get a clip of this real quick.
Cool.
So also people asked us about our wedding. So we got married in Ohio before we moved out to California. I actually graduated college, and a month later we got married, and then 4 months later we moved out to California. So 2013 was a busy year for our family.
Yeah.
But we got...
What are you putting that into?
It's gonna go in here. I'm gonna drain it, and then we'll put it on the pan. So it goes in the sink.
Okay, I was gonna say, don't pour that right here.
So we got married on the lake in Ohio. We've like always been beach people. So you guys will see us going to the beach a lot in our vlogs or on Instagram. We've always been beach people. Even in Cleveland, we tried our best to be beach people. We were always at the lake, and we got married on the lake, on the beach in Ohio. We got a lot of questions about if we're planning to have more kids, or like how many kids we want. We're planning one more. Our number is 3 that we're planning for. But I don't know. I feel weird being like, we're going to have 3 kids, because you never know what might happen.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we've already talked about, we're on the same page that 3 is the plan for right now, because 3 is the next one that can possibly happen. We'll just see what happens when we get there.
But we could have difficulties having number 3, or we could end up going for like 4 or 5 or 6, so.
No. I can promise you a vasectomy is in my future. I can promise you that. But
we're planning to have 3.
We're taking it one step at a time.
That's the plan.
We love our boys.
A lot of questions about how do we split up household duties and like responsibilities with 2 kids and household responsibilities. How do we divvy things up?
I don't think we do that much, except for the idea that because of just Arlo being younger and he's still nursing quite a bit, I think you handle Arlo more than I do a lot of times. So when it comes to like dirty diapers, for instance, I take the big kid and she takes the little guy.
It's so funny. I was going to say the exact same thing.
What was the question we were just talking about?
How do we divvy up household responsibilities? I was actually going to say the same thing. We don't have like any structured way we divvy things up. We basically just sort of, we're actually really like in it together. We pretty much do everything together, like with both kids. So like we'll do bath time with both kids and both of us are in there, or we do a lot of family walks, or as far as chores and stuff goes, we try and just have it be whoever can get to it, or whoever like has the energy at that point and doesn't have a kid in their hands. So like this morning you did the dishes because I was nursing Arlo, or sometimes I'll do the dishes because Jordan will be outside playing with Christian and holding Arlo, or one of them sleeping, or we sort of just like.
I think we do. Even like taking the garbage out, we do it together. Like we do a lot of stuff together. But I think it just like you said, if we're juggling a baby in one hand, we got each other's backs.
Yeah, but like you said, I was gonna say the same thing. Like as far as divvying up kids, we've kind of like unintentionally made it so like Arlo's my responsibility when it comes to diaper changes, and Christian's your responsibility. Because when we brought Arlo home, not like we're not like strict about that, but it's just like that's sort of what ends up happening. Because when we brought Arlo home, Jordan was like afraid because he's so fragile and tiny. And I was like, to me, Christian's diapers, being 2, his are way more scary. So I would rather take the tiny baby, let Jordan take the bigger kid, and that's just kind of how it usually ends up being.
Yeah, and then lately it's kind of been going back and forth.
Yeah, but it's just like whatever we end up doing. How are you guys handling quarantine with both boys and being in such close quarters all of the time? What would you say?
Close quarters is not a problem. Me and her have actually done well together. We do better the more we're together.
Yeah, we always talk about we're one of those couples that like the more time we get together, and the more like we could be around each other 24/7. So we are around each other 24/7, and
that's not the hard part. The hard part is the work-life balance and the separation of work and family time, because I end up sitting on my phone when I shouldn't be, or trying to get stuff done when it's like, it's just hard to turn it off because of quarantine.
And I think everybody who's working from home is experiencing that right now when you don't normally work from home. Like I normally work from home, and so I'm used to that, and I'm not working right now anyways because I'm on maternity leave. But for Jordan, he normally goes to an office, and so I think people who are adjusting with getting used to working from home right now are getting used to the feeling of like, there's no way to just go home from work. You can't just like set down work at the end of the day. I mean, you can close your computer, but it's always still there. It's always in the other room. Like you're all of a sudden living and eating and sleeping in the same place that you work as well. And so I think that's what the adjustment for you has been, especially because you're so driven that you would work 24/7 if you could, and there's always something to do. You know?
And I think also then too, the hard part for me is like it coincided with a newborn, so it's like just a bunch of stuff. But like you said, we're not dealing with anything everyone else isn't either. It's just new for sure.
But I think as far as both kids and working from home, it's tough.
Yeah.
Like honestly, it's been harder I think than we anticipated having both kids, and you know, on top of that, like Christian's regressions or him getting used to a sibling, and then you know, Jordan's meetings and me healing postpartum and us having a newborn and a lack of sleep and no family around, and you know, it's been a lot. It's been like a lot all at once, and I think the only thing that's helping us, I mean, there's a lot of things helping us get through it, but we know that like as far as the kids go, everything with them is a phase. And so we keep talking about that, how like, you know, with Arlo, his colic or his lack of sleep or breastfeeding or whatever it might be, it's all a phase that like eventually will get past. And so we know that this is just like a crazy season of life.
Yeah. This
is not how it's always going to be. And you know, years from now, we'll look back on this and we'll be like, holy cow, we made it through that, and that was crazy. And
and we talk about too, there's the things that like you have to try to see the silver lining. And for me, I would be in an office right now, I wouldn't see my newborn son for 11 hours a day. I wouldn't see my 2-year-old who I have so much fun with. I wouldn't see him 11 hours out of the day. So I'm seeing more. I am a part of the early newborn stage in a way that I wasn't with Christian, our first son.
With
so
Christian,
it's a whole new experience, which is a good thing. Even though it's stressful, it's good.
We've gotten so much more time with Christian than we had prior to all of this happening. And like you said, you've gotten so much time with Arlo as a newborn that you didn't have with Christian as a newborn, which is really sad.
I didn't even see it at all. I went back to work so fast after Christian was born. So
and then it's not like he like went away, but you know, when you're in an office for 9 hours a day and then you have a commute, and then it's pretty much even.
When you have a young baby or child, by the time I got home from work, it's bedtime. So there wasn't like a daily interaction that now I'm getting, which, you know, kind of sucks thinking it might not always be that way, but for now I'm enjoying it.
Even when we're not enjoying it.
Yeah.
All right, and then we got a lot of questions about sex life with 2 kids. How do we keep the spark alive? And mom and dad, if you're watching, apologies. But we won't get into details, obviously.
No, not details. We're respectful people. I think the good thing is we've noticed that we have a mutual understanding that we are very attracted to each other, and if and when the opportunity arises, I think we're very happy with each other. So it's made us appreciate any moment you ever get together.
I think having 2 kids and going through 2 pregnancies has made we just prioritize each other in ways that we didn't prior to having kids. Like before we had kids, I think we took each other for granted a lot more than we do now. And now it's like, oh, we have time for each other. Oh, we have 5 minutes to have an adult conversation. It means a lot more to us now than it did before we had kids. But then we also really love the family time. And so it's like,
we just take it when we can get it. And I think it could be a scenario where we were stressed about it, but I think instead it's just made us really value it. But that being said, it's tough. It's tough with 2 kids because it's not just 2 kids. It's right now because of what everyone's going through. It's 2 kids, 24 hours a day.
And all other household responsibilities
Yeah.
and work responsibilities.
Yep. Yeah.
So basically, if you have kids and you're not having sex, don't take it personally.
Yeah, it's okay.
But if you're able to, do it and be happy.
Yes.
And now our 2-year-old walks up while we're talking about these things.
Oh.
I don't know if you even got a full nap, Christian.
Probably not. I think maybe it's time to go get comfy.
You want to go get him comfy and I'll work on this stuff?
Yeah.
How do you plan on raising your boys rightfully against racism?
I feel like that's a lifelong task. I don't think we could have a quick answer for that, but you and me are very passionate about that. That's an easy one in terms of what we want to do. We were very blessed that we were raised in a diverse city, diverse upbringing with the opportunity to see many, many walks of life. And that's made us appreciate everyone around us. So I mean, we're gonna do the same. I think in a perfect world would have our kids grow up the exact same way we do. But where we grew up was unique, I think. You agree?
Yeah, we're from a really diverse town, and so I think we were really fortunate that our core group of friends and our family is very diverse in terms of races and backgrounds and beliefs. And so for us, that was like normal growing up. And I think moving out to California, we obviously realized that's not the way most places are. And so it's really top of mind for us to raise our kids to have the same understanding, respect, and
hopefully experiences too. We don't want them to be secluded. We want our kids to grow up in diversity. So we've given a ton of thought about that when it comes to where we want to live, the city we want to live in, the places we want to have our kids go to school, and the activities. Like, we want it to be diverse because for us, I don't think we really had to be taught. Like, we didn't have to be taught to be respectful of other upbringings or anything like that. Like, it was part of who we were growing up, and I think that's important for us. We want that to be for our kids too.
We talk about when it comes time to buy a house or to enroll our kids in school, like that's something that we're going to keep in mind, is like how diverse is the area, what kind of experience and exposure will they get there, what kind of conversations and teachings and friendships will they have. That's really important to us because we definitely don't want our kids to go to like an area, or to go to a school or live in an area where they're just not, I think like Jordan said, we were really fortunate that it was part of our daily lives and our daily, way of operating.
Yeah, it was. So we are passionate about that. I think we were lucky we were brought up with those opportunities. So. And
I think our kids, like going back to our family who you guys have seen in videos before, my sister Katura is Black, and so her son, Christian, and Arlo's cousin, he's half Black. And so I think like they're gonna grow up with very close family relatives who are a different race than them. And so raising our kids to understand like the beauty behind that, and also understand their differences and embrace it, and not, there's so many layers to it that are super important. But I think even aside from them, like our closest friends are of different races, and so even aside from like blood relatives, they'll grow up with aunts and uncles who look very different from them.
And that's the way we want it.
We want it that way. And so I think that it's going to be part of their DNA and their upbringing the same way it was ours too. But we will have to make a conscious effort to make sure it's brought to their attention, because it's just not where we live. It's not as diverse as where we grew up, which is not ideal. Also, if you guys don't follow me on Instagram, I have been very vocal on there about my thoughts and sharing resources, and aside from just like the typical things that everybody's sharing, I'm really trying to give education and knowledge and different types of perspectives too. So follow me there too, because I get more in depth and talk more about that kind of stuff on there as well.
Yep.
Oh, and then we got some questions about finances, and like, how did we financially prepare for a second baby, or how do we plan finances? How do you become financially successful, or like, I don't know. I definitely don't feel like we're experts. At least,
no. We'll share our experiences, but don't take it as advice.
Yeah, we're just normal people.
Yeah.
We are not overly successful.
We're also not organized, but we try.
We work to pay our bills.
Yeah, we try. So I guess about like what I would say, I'll start with finances for preparing for a second kid. I don't think we really, I mean, we had a general idea, we were ready, but I don't think we nailed it down to the penny what it would cost to have a second kid or really prepared that way. I think we approached
Not saying that's the best method.
No, not
some people do that.
For sure. And I think we're just not as organized. But I'm a huge budgeter, so I know like our monthly expenses, all that stuff. I'm huge. I like to do a lot of things in Excel that annoy her sometimes, but
it doesn't annoy me.
It's not her thing.
I'm the one in the relationship where I'm like, okay, I know my income, I know my money, my bills, like we know our split bill. I know it sounds so stupid, but I'm like, I know our split, like it stresses me out to look at it as long as stuff's handled. And like, you know, and Jordan's much more like, let's put every penny in an Excel doc, let's talk about it, let's sit down, let's budget, let's plan, let's look at the stressful stuff.
So I guess that would be our advice, is if you are going to do it, like we're definitely not experts, but like just doing a simple breakdown of your current expenses to know what things cost. Because what we also found is we canceled a bunch of things and we cut out things that were just not.
Or we may have room for things that we didn't think we had.
Yeah. A lot of times you find that you actually have more money than you think, and if you create a budget, you realize that money that you thought was so vital that you're spending was actually just like takeout food. For us, that was huge. Takeout food was like half of our monthly budget sometimes.
Which is why we like HelloFresh.
Yeah. But I think what we also came to the conclusion was if we wanted a second child, and we wanted the first child no matter what. And so if you overthink it, you might try to like think of reasons why you're not ready. And she had to convince me too. Like I was thinking of every reason why maybe we weren't ready for the first kid and whatever. But it was just nerves. And so things have worked out.
We talked about that when it came time to get pregnant with Christian. Like Jordan really wanted to be, you want to spread some hummus over there? Jordan really wanted to be like 100% ready. He wanted all of our finances in order. He wanted like us to career goals achieved, where we're living, the perfect house. And like we had to talk about it and be like, look, you're never going to feel 1,000% ready for a kid. You may never feel 1,000% ready for a second kid. For us, Mother Nature came into play and brought Arlo to us a little bit sooner than we expected. We weren't feeling fully ready for the second one when we got pregnant.
We definitely didn't budget before we got pregnant because we didn't even know we were going to get pregnant.
But I think we're like big believers in like what's meant to happen will happen, and what's meant to happen when it happens, or you know, like things will happen when they're meant to happen. I don't know.
That along with like taking a general look at our finances. I mean,
we know monthly how much all our expenses cost, how much our income is, including my YouTube income, and we, you know, make sure that obviously that we're covered across the board, but we use Excel docs and Jordan's budgeting expertise to do so. I
guess the one thing I would say though is like it wasn't until just recently that we actually started putting money aside in savings, and I think having 2 kids made us really like value that more. So now we're trying to save money, whereas before like we were saving money for a house, but it wasn't
as active.
It wasn't a conscious effort. Now I think we're spending more time thinking about savings because we know we're more responsible for other people now. So I think that's one new thing.
We have also created like a bank account specifically for the kids and saving for them. So like we have our family savings and our savings, but like we want them to have their own bank account too, that when they're older, you know, they can become in control of. And on top of, I'm like making a huge mess over here. And then I've talked about this before. I feel like I even mentioned it in our last Q&A, but for me, both of us actually, it's like any side income that we make. So for me, like any YouTube income, any income from sponsored videos or from anything like that, for me,
if it's like if I find spare change on the ground outside,
whatever. But we put it like directly into savings. So that's our active way of saving for a house and saving for the future and stuff like that too, because we are saving for a house, which is another question we got. which we talked about in our last Q&A, so I won't get like too far in depth for it, but we are saving, and we're hoping within the next couple of years that we'll buy, and we'll be buying in Orange County, right?
Yeah.
Pretty sure, yeah. But the goal, our like very long-term goal, is that eventually we would love to like own property in Ohio where we're from too, and do like an Airbnb out there, and then we would have a place to visit when we go visit out there. And we're also planning eventually on buying property in Joshua Tree and building a house out there. It's like his dream.
It's my dream.
It's his dream, and we're gonna do it. It's one of my dreams too. I just want us to have like our oceanfront mansion first.
I want part of the Joshua Tree property to be unreachable by technology so that we can unplug a little bit.
I didn't agree to that.
I know she didn't.
All right, here's our finished meals. They're a little messy looking because we are not professionals. Jordan could not wait to dive into his, but they look really good and super easy too. Yeah, so how has the transition from 1 to 2 kids affected our marriage?
I don't think it's affected us marriage-wise, but I think day-to-day life has changed. I think,
I'm gonna move the camera real quick.
Sorry. Baby coming through.
It's like I'm still pregnant.
It's definitely made me appreciate you more because I've been like really insecure, I think, as a dad to Arlo, just because he's a little different than Christian. He deals with more. I mean, not in a bad way, but he's like he's colicky. He has his own stuff going on, and I think I'm not.
He's harder to soothe.
Yeah, I'm not as good at taking care of him in terms of keeping him happy and calm as Liv is, and so I think it's made me really appreciate you, and also just it's like an ego check a little bit. Like you become a little bit reliant on you. So I'm very thankful for you. But
I think you also just like, we both forgot what the newborn stage is like.
Yeah, for sure.
So
yeah.
Like we keep talking about how we remember Christian as like this perfect little newborn baby, but maybe he wasn't. And maybe we it's been 2 years and we like view him with rose colored glasses because he's now like our amazing 2-year-old.
Yeah. Because there's tons of things that he did that are very similar to what Arlo's going through too. But I think with everything going on right now, it's been tougher for me. So Liv has just been like our rock, and you've been amazing. So I think it's made us stronger. It's definitely been tough.
Made us stronger too.
Yeah.
I think it's tested us.
Yeah.
But not even
a relationship. It's
and
tested.
not even 2 kids. It's like quarantine with a new baby.
Yeah.
I feel like that has tested us.
And I think it hasn't really like, I wouldn't consider it testing our relationship. It's like tested us as people, and since we're around each other all day long, like we clash. I mean, we clash a couple times a week, but never in a way that lasts more than that moment. I think me and her have had to learn to like move on, because if we're on the same team, and if tomorrow we're waking up and we're on the same team, like what can you do now to just move on, because that's the end goal. So.
Tested, but made us stronger.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm so hungry.
I'm sorry.
You're good.
What does the weekend look like for us?
Every weekend or this weekend?
Every weekend.
Every weekend. We try to
Beach?
cram a week's worth of everything into 2 days, because I feel like we don't get anything done during the week. But beach for sure, because it's kind of like our sanity a little bit. So beach time, lots of outdoor time in the backyard with Christian, because Christian is, you guys should see his tan. His tan is amazing. He's never got a shirt on. So it's a lot of outdoor time running around, and I think lately you and me try to make good time to binge watch TV if we can. Mm-hmm. Me and her have always bonded over binge watching TV or movies. I mean, we like it.
It's true.
We joke that
we like food and we like TV.
Yeah, first couple of years we really just bonded over like eating everywhere you could eat and drinking a little bit and having fun. So we still enjoy it.
Oh, if we could take a dream vacation together as a family, where would we go?
You and me, I don't know. See, I guess things change when you have a family. I haven't thought a ton about it, but you and me have always said Australia.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, Australia. And that's still, for me, I think it'd be awesome to do that. I think the flights with young kids might be tough, but like, you figure that out because it's worth it to do it. That would be fun. And Hawaii.
Or like New Zealand or something.
New Zealand, yeah. And Hawaii for sure too, just because
Hawaii seems like doable too. We just need the time.
We're on the West Coast, so it's a shorter flight to
Yeah.
Hawaii. But we've never been, and there's a ton of places we would love to go.
I've heard it's kid friendly too. So
Cool.
maybe in the next year. We should make that a goal. In the next year, we will go to Hawaii. At least once, if not several times.
Wow. Lofty goals. We've never been, so things are going to change.
Oh, I like this one. Okay, let's end on this question. Oh, 2 questions. What does your first date night look like after COVID has calmed down and you find a babysitter?
Wow. That's like hitting the lottery. I don't know. This is what I picture.
Go for it. I bet I know what you're going to say.
I picture downtown Laguna. Is that what you were picturing, I would say? So downtown Laguna, which is one of our favorite spots to get drinks and food. I see us being drunk within 45 minutes. I'm just joking. No, but getting to have an adult beverage at a rooftop restaurant in Laguna with some Brussels sprouts and avocado toast. That's what I picture.
Perfect date night.
Yeah.
It's funny because that was like our every weekend before children. And
Yeah.
now it's like what I would do for that.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I agree. Okay, and then last question. What are 3 things your marriage is grounded by?
3 things that our marriage is grounded by?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for me, passion. Like, I've always been attracted to you. Like, you are someone who gets prettier every day.
This baby strapped to my chest.
She is, no, you're awesome. So I think it's one that, like, I am always attracted to you. Not the most important thing, but that's important. And then 2, I think like we said, we enjoy being around each other. I think that's a big thing for us as a couple, is that we do better when we're around each other and we enjoy each other's company. So I think
So for you, passion, joy.
Passion, joy, and the other one keeping us grounded as a couple. Kids. Kids. No, I don't know. What do you think?
I think for me, communication, for sure. I think we've gotten very good at communicating with one another. And so communication and
that's something we've gotten a lot better at, and we're still learning. I feel like we're constantly learning for better ways to communicate, but
empathy. Like you and I have, so we've been talking a lot about understanding each other's love languages because we have different love languages. Like what's important to him, not that what's important to him is not important to me, but like
what differently.
Yeah, what makes you feel special is different for each of us. So we really want to have open conversations about that and understand it, and that's like helped us immensely. So I think being empathetic to where each other's at and like understanding that like, okay, I may not feel that way. That may not be important to, or it may not be as important to me, but like I get that it's important to you, so I'm going to make an effort here.
Yeah.
And so I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's a big one. Empathy for sure, because it's easy to feel like you're the one who's the victim in something. And I think you and me, like we used to have little tiffs, and it was kind of like who was right, who was wrong. I think you and me now are more about, like we were saying earlier, trying to get through it. We know we're teammates. We know that we're going to get through this together. So if we already know we're going to be together, let's get together and find a solution that we both care about. So I think we're just better at that. And the communication's key, because we used to just like, we butt heads sometimes. I think over 12 years it's gotten better. So. And
our 7-year wedding anniversary is this week.
Yeah.
Crazy. 7-year itch.
7-year itch. Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up. He's hungry. I think he's hungry as well. So we're going to conclude this Q&A. Thank you for submitting questions and for hanging out and for cooking with us. I'll have the info for HelloFresh in the description box. Don't forget you can save $60 off your first box and free shipping. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Anything else?
No.
A man of many words.
Let's eat.